welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Scarlett here today, and if you can't tell by the way I'm filming, I'm doing a sit-down / talking video, and today's topic is going to be my top 10 most streamed Carpenter songs ever from my Spotify. And I was actually surprised when I did the research on which ones I actually listen to the most on repeat. So without further ado, let's just get into my top 10 Carpenter songs that I stream all the time. So if you're new to my channel and you're just discovering me because of this video, and if you're not, most of you guys know, I discovered the Carpenters in like late 2015, early 2016. So the story goes, my mother around Thanksgiving from Publishers Clearinghouse in November of 2015 ordered a Carpenters Greatest Hits, the 69 to 81, with Karen and Richard on the front. There's two different versions I know, because there's one where there was a photo from like 80, 81 with them in it. And then the one that we have is one with the photo where she's smiling from the Rolling Stones photo shoot. One of my favorite pictures of the duo. And I literally told her, because it was my mom's, like, not her generation at all, because, like, Karen was, like, probably, like, a generation and a half behind my mom, but, with the music, that she probably couldn't sing. I really cannot believe I told my mother that Karen Carpenter, one of the best vocalists, if not the best vocalist of all time, could not sing. Also, I was in my Teeny Bopper R5 phase at the time, so no shade at me on that one. And so my mom got it within like the 4 to 6 weeks time, and then around Christmas it came in, so it was probably about, yeah, it was probably like 4 to 6 weeks after the CD came in. My mother was playing it in the van all the time. She brought it in, we played in the house, and like I had vague memories, like not thinking back to it. She would play like Rainy Days and Mondays and like Top of the World. Those were like two that I remember her like singing a lot when I was younger. Did not make the connection. And that Christmas, I remember when we'd have it on like the local like Christmas stations, I started recognizing Karen's voice, and like I guess I was just like shy to say that I was like obsessed, like low-key obsessed with Karen's voice and Richard's arrangements. So by the time I turned 14, early 2016, almost like to like May or June of 2016, I was listening to the Carpenters, but mostly only their hits. It wasn't until the end of May when I got out of school that I decided to start like researching the Carpenters, found the Karen Carpenter story from 1989. I know that one's not like the total truth. I know Richard regrets a lot of it. And then there was the Ray Coleman book that I ended up renting from the library. I also rented Little Girl Blue. I have one of the two in my collection of Carpenter stuff now. And then, of course, Richard did that photo / storybook back in 2021. That's also my thing, my collection. Anyways, sorry, going off topic, because this is supposed to talk about my top 10 songs. But, so you guys, like, are new to my channel. You guys know how I discovered them. And then by June, I was just obsessed. Like, I was watching all the YouTube videos I could find. So, like, I watched all of the mini-series that they did in the summer 71. Where they filled in they did it with, like, I think Cass Elliot, Herb Albert, the alphabet, spelling, and music. I watched every Carol Burnett show I think I could find. I found a bunch of interviews from The Tonight Show. I was, like, so obsessed. Constantly rewatching the Karen Carpenter 1989 movie. And then, fast forward to, like, now, I love that lady so much. I love Richard's arrangements. I am really still, like, for a person that didn't know Karen, I literally want to cry every time I hear the news clipping of when she did pass away, because there was so much not known about anorexia nervosa back then. Wish times were different and stuff had been so much far more advanced. Anyways, I digress. So let's get into the fun part of this video, but that's just for the people that are new clicking on my channel just because they see Carpenters or Karen Carpenter in the thumbnail. So my first song that I've streamed the most of all time, and like mind you, I didn't have like a smartphone / like social media like stuff to listen to Spotify till like 2019 really. So I want to say this is like the last 6 years. I literally, when I started listening to the Carpenters, I started collecting vinyl in July of 2016. So my mainstream of format for the Carpenters was literally CDs and vinyls and cassettes, because I had this like little player. We still have one in the living room, but now that everything's digital, my car only has a CD player, so everything's not on Spotify. So number 1, Love Is Surrender. That is off the Close to You album from 1970. I think it's just because of the catchiness of it, because it was originally like a religious song that they turned like less religious. So I just love it. Love Is Surrender. Number 2, You're the One. I got obsessed with this when I was low-key writing one of my what if books on Wattpad. I'm not ashamed to put it out there. I am a writer. I don't think I've talked about that very much. I've talked about it briefly. I write a lot of what if books about not Andy Gibb or Karen Carpenter together, their friendship, because actually I discovered after several things came out, they were actually friends in like the later part of the 70s, early 80s, which I didn't know when I started writing my books back in 2021. I think I'm on like my 7th or 8th book, and I went back to my original series that started from a senior year short story contest that I did when I was in high school. So now I made it into a trilogy. Yeah, You're the One. I just feel like it would be the perfect like wedding song for me personally. I love it so much. I know we've only just begun. Would be a good wedding song too, but You're the One. I don't know. It just, I'm such a hopeless romantic. Number 3, Those Good Old Dreams. Now this song I feel like hits with nostalgia because I wish it was the 70s and 80s again. I love that song so much, and again, still hopeless romantic. I don't know, it hits so differently now that I'm an adult. So like when I was first listening to it, I was still technically like a teenager slash like child. Like if you're 13 or 14 when you first like hear stuff, I still consider you like a small child, small being. That's just me. I digress. But I was just like, oh, I hope my life is like these songs are like romantic, happy, and everything else. And I just wish those good old dreams. I wish I was a child again, playing make believe, which I get to with the kids at school. So that's kind of nice. I get to like heal my inner childhood part of me, I guess. Number 4, no surprise here. If you guys have been on my channel for a while, or if you're not been on here and you're new, I love the Carpenters, and I discovered Perry Como because of the Carpenters. So number 4 is the Carpenters Como medley from the 1974 Christmas special they did with the Carpenters with Perry Como. I literally love that medley so much. I literally discovered, I think in like 2017, early 2017. That song reminds me of that year because that's when I was like really getting into like the 70s music and discovering different artists by myself. It just hits. I love Mr. C. I love the Carpenters. So with number 2 voices together, it's just heaven sent. Number 5, I Need to Be in Love. I think I remember a certain time in my life that I was listening to this song a lot. I will not go into details. If you know me personally, I was a hopeless romantic, hoping that I would find something, even though I'm like only like 23 now that I'm recording this. So I don't know what I was thinking a couple years back, but I think that's when I really listened to it. That's why it was up at number 5. Number 6, I'm not surprised. It is the medley from the Christmas Portrait, the Winter Wonderland song medley. That's how I wrote it on paper. Sorry if I'm mumbling. Christmas Portrait every year for the Carpenters, that has a special place in my heart. Starting in 2016, now it's 2023, so almost like what, 8 years? 8 years of listening. No, 2025. So it's actually going on almost 9 years. So when I think of Christmas, I think of the Carpenters, and like Christmas Portrait, that album has a special place in my heart. Literally all of their albums do. Number 7 is going to be a surpriser to some of like the generic like Carpenter listeners, but if you're like a obsessed fanatic like I have been, I'll Be Yours. That is the the single that Karen did in 1966 when she got signed to Magic Lamp Records. So she was like 16 when she recorded it. Absolutely stunning vocals for somebody that was just discovering their voice, because remember, she always considered herself a drummer that sang. So when she got to get on the record label, because of, I don't remember the technicalities. I know Richard was signed on as like a songwriter or something. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm remembering the story wrong. And they cut these 2 singles. So I'll Be Yours. I really wish she would have gone back and like re-recorded it when she like discovered her range and stuff. That would have been super cool. What ifs, again, what ifs. Number 8 is For All We Know. Again, a lot of these songs I feel like fit into like certain eras of my life. So this one was again when I was writing a specific alternate universe book on Wattpad of Andy Gibb, and then like Karen Carpenter was like sprinkled in there. She became the reader's best friend, I think, if I remember correctly. I don't reread my own books except when I'm like getting ready to go like rewrite like a trilogy or turn it into a sequel. So I know For All We Know was like definitely like the wedding song I think in that book series. Again, For All We Know, I love the lyrics so much. Like, Love May Grow, For All We Know. Like, again, hopeless romantic should be just the title of this entire video. Number 9 is going to feed into something that I probably have discussed in another Carpenters video, probably. My favorite album by them is the Now and Then album from 1973, the one that is the trifold fold out, them in the red car on the front. I love that one so much. I think it's just because I also grew up loving the 60s music. So like having two of my favorite things put into one album together. It just was heaven sent. I remember I got the vinyl first and the CD, I think at Christmas of 2016 actually. So I remember wanting the CD so bad because we didn't have like social media devices except on the big, like the computer, like the old, like, you know, big ones. We didn't have like laptops until a lot later. So when I got the CD, and then I think a couple days later we went to the local record store and the actual vinyl was there, I was like so excited. And I don't know, that album reminds me of when I was in high school. As silly as that sounds, here I'm 23 years old in 2025 talking about high school and the Carpenters like being the soundtrack for my high school years. But it's true. It's definitely true. And then number 10 on my list is Happy. Now, funny thing about this song, I did not know it existed, even though I had listened to Horizon multiple times until Samantha, my sister, started playing it. I want to say in 2018. It hit different when she was playing this song out loud for some reason. Like, it would just like play like on the track listings of the vinyl, of course, like, you know, A side, B side, and then the CD would just like play. And then one day she was just playing music out loud and Happy came on and it just like blew my mind away for some reason. It's not like this like grand performance, like a vocal performance by Karen and Richard. It's not like Solitaire or close to like an arrangement like that. It's just like a song that like gets into your like, oh, I don't know, just literally happy. It makes me happy. I don't know how come it hit me like that when I was listening to it out loud with Samantha that one time. But ever since then, it's been like the song that we both like love by the Carpenters together. So like on our car playlist, because you know, guys know me and Sissy go to work at the same place. Don't mind the dog barking in the background. That is my dog Gracie. Anyways, but it's just like one of the like go-to happy songs because some of the Carpenter songs, like the lyrics, like Rainy Days and Mondays, like those are really depressing. So for this track to be like in my top 10, at least I get away from like so much happy, like hopeless romantic vibes with the Carpenters, because that's like a lot of what I feel like Karen really felt like in her vocal performances. She was a hopeless romantic. She always was looking to find that white picket fence, so she sang her feelings into the songs. But that is my top 10 songs that I've listened to ever by the Carpenters on Spotify. I do want to do a couple honorable mentions because a lot of these are like not even single. Well, two of them I think were the only ones that are actually singles in all reality. Maybe three, because I can't remember if Those Good Old Dreams was actually a single, because I know that came off of Made in America. I really, really like the Burt Bacharach, Hal David medley. Can't even talk medley. That one did not pop up on here, but I remember listening to it a lot on the 10 album, like on the actual physical vinyl. So like, of course, when I switched from physical format to streaming, it just did not cross because recently in the last year I've been using AI DJ Spotify a lot too, so they've been showing me a lot of the Carpenter songs that I've either forgotten about, played a couple times. They're trying to introduce me to like other tracks that I may have listened on vinyl that I forgot that I liked. Another honorable mention is the song You off of There's a Kind of Hush. That one I love so much. Did not realize how beautiful it was, I guess, as a younger, not so mature mind. Now that I turned into my 20s, I've discovered a lot of the songs that I thought I hated years ago. Not hated, disliked, but they were okay to listen to. They've become my favorites. Another honorable mention, Man Smart, Woman Smarter. Such a quirky song. Love it off the Passage album. That one definitely hits a little bit different. I think it was very ahead of its time. I also liked when they did it on, even though I don't really like the Space Encounters TV show thing that they did in 77, 78, can't remember which year it was. The way that they had Suzanne Summers and Karen sing it was definitely like so 70s, so that was a vibe. And then there was a couple other songs that I can't remember. If I remember, I'll put them on the screen, or I'll just list my Carpenters playlist down below that I have on Spotify, all my favorite songs. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching this new video on my channel. If you guys did like it, give this video a big thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe because it is free. I have a playlist here, hopefully somewhere, of all my Carpenter stuff or like vinyl related stuff if you are new. If you haven't already caught up on all the content, I'll catch you guys in one of my next videos. Hopefully soon. Love you, bye!